Alright, so this is the third time I'm making this video today. It's okay, baby, I'm fine with that. My girlfriend keeps calling. And I don't have editing software, and I'm too lazy to learn it right now because I've got other things on my mind. Like today I'm just getting these models back together so that way I can prime them because it's such a gorgeous day outside. It's like 58 degrees or something like that. It's amazing. I've been driving around with the windows down all day. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Yes, I'm going to be assembling models. Woohoo! But that's not the whole reason for this video. This video is actually because I have kind of a problem that I've been trying to deal with in my life. My dad died about 2 months ago, and 2 months ago yesterday, actually, 4th of January. And I have the enviable task of cleaning out his stuff. Yay me. But, you know, hey, it's not so bad, you know. Somebody's got to do it, and we've got a buttload of stuff to go through. My dad was kind of a pack rat. You know, that all aside, I have a problem. My dad had a metric assload of model kits. He had like 30 model kits he built over the past 6 months. You know, because he was stockpiling them while he was in college and stuff like that, and then started building them last summer, and then all of a sudden last October dropped out and started doing nothing but building model kits. And, you know, he turned out some amazing stuff for, you know, being a shaky-handed 64-year-old man who was nearsighted, refused to use his glasses, and didn't have enough light. But, you know, there's a couple of his models that were really good, and I have no problem with them. I want to keep them. But then again, I've got like 30 models, and at the end, a lot of his models weren't going together really well for him, and he was getting sloppy with the paint and everything because he was turning them out like he would build a skill level 2 or 3 model, which will take somebody like me about a month to complete. Just a few weeks just on the paint job. And he would turn it out in a couple of days. 2 at the most. And, you know, I kind of understand, because I think at the end he knew it was coming. I just don't think he knew how fast. But he became kind of obsessed with building them. And to him it was worth the sacrifice in his building quality just so that way he could turn out the quantity. And I have to figure out what to do with all these models. I'm only gonna have room to display 2 or 3, and I know which ones I want to keep. My dad had this dragster of it's an old I think it was a Nitro Funny Car dragster, the S-School bus, I guess is how you would say it. It was a pretty badass model, and he loved that. He even had when I was a kid, he had that model, and he had the monster truck version and all that, and there's a lot of memories tied with that kind of model for me. And then of course he built this really awesome big rig. It's a little sloppy because he was using, it was sloppy in the glass work, because I was trying to introduce him to some new material, like there's this glue that doesn't craze the clear plastic parts, but in the end he was just stubborn and didn't want to learn new stuff. But so I'm thinking what I'm going to do is, because my dad also taught me, don't waste if you don't have to. And I try to live by that, because it's kind of expensive to have a hobby like this, like models, minis, and stuff like that. And damn it, my hand is glued to her head. And so what I'm thinking about, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of his models that, all of his sloppy built ones, and a lot of his models that I can't find display for or protection for, because we've got some of the little model kit cases and stuff like that. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them and put them into my salvage box, because I've got a whole box and part of a 5-gallon paint bucket filled with, parts still on sprue that were just extra parts that he wasn't going to use. And he's just like, "You want these?" "Yeah, sure." Because I scratch build. And why fabricate something completely from scratch when you can find a piece that goes to a different kind of model that'll work for you, and you modify that. So I've got a bunch of that. I think that's what's going to happen to a lot of these. I feel a little bit bad, but not like hugely, because I'm not going to waste them. And that's, each model was like anywhere between $10 and $20 a piece. I think he had like 2 or 3 that were almost $30. But again, those are the ones that he took his time on last summer and everything. So, but a lot of these models he paid like $10 to $15 for, and he just kind of quickly threw them together just so he could have them done before. I don't know why, but I think he knew what was going to happen. I don't know what you guys think of that. I know it seems a little harsh to some people, but the way I'm looking at it is I have to do something with these models, and if we move, I cannot protect them. So they're just going to end up smashed. And I don't want my dad's work just get thrown away, or stuff he spent money on and time on to just get thrown away because they get smashed. I think a lot of them I'm just going to go ahead and keep and use them for scratch building material. And then, when I go ahead and scratch build, I can, put piece of his work into my work. And so it's like back when I was little and we used to build models together. So, but just let me know in the comments what y'all think of that. Now, that brings up another thing about, scratch building. Right now I'm doing commission work and I'm painting my own minis in my spare time. Like today, I don't do customers' minis on the weekends. The weekends is time for me and my brother's minis, and I'm completely redoing his army from scratch. I had him half done before, and then I became better, and I'm like, you know what? I want my brother's stuff to reflect the quality of work I can turn out. And my brother's like, hey, you're the one painting them. Do what you do. And he's paid for so many different paint jobs. He has kept me supplied with paint and glue. He's bought me tools. His car died while he was heading to go get me a model pipe cutter, because the smallest pipe cutter you can get out of a hardware store goes down to, I think it's an eighth of an inch diameter tubing, and that's all well and good, but I work with 16th, and so he was on his way. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because I just got it the other day. He was on his way to get me. I just opened it too. I really need to organize all this stuff. But he was on his way to get me a pipe cutter that specifically is for model building. And you guys will see me use it a lot when I do scratch building. There it is. I need to organize that. But this goes all the way down to less than 1/16 of an inch diameter tubing. And if you can find smaller tubing, you be sure and let me know, because I will find a way to use it. But yeah, see how tiny that gets? It's ridiculous. He was on his way to get me one of these when his car died on the freeway. His timing belt broke on the inside lane just before the exit he needed, and during rush hour. You can imagine how pissed he was. But my brother has done a lot for my hobby and my, I guess you could call it an art. I don't think I'm an artist really, though. I mean, I guess I am, but I'm not very good. I'm good enough for my customers, good enough for my stuff, but I'm continuously learning, and I'm not like some epic awesome artist like Angel Giraldes, which I love his work. It's kind of why I talk about him when I do. He is an amazing painter. So all the painters at Corvus Belli are friggin' amazing. But I have Angel's book, and I'm gonna work through it. And he's teasing about the second volume of the book is going to involve some painting for Yu Jing. This one focused a lot on Panel. and which, you know, you get some really cool techniques out of Pano anyway, so why the hell not, right? Let's see if I can get that. There we go. That's the angle it's supposed to be. But, you know, I'm going to get better. Projects for the summer, once I get through with all my commissions, I'm going to stop until I get comfortable at school. I'm not going to take any more commissions. I'm just going to work on little personal projects. I'm going to do a 1/6 scale scratch built steam powered powered armor samurai. Steampunk powered armor is like just some of the most amazing stuff from steampunk is done just out of pure. It's not going to work in real life, but it looks freaking awesome. So like I plan on doing a steampunk samurai power armor just because it sounds cool. Think the guy, if you've ever watched the Seven Samurai animated series, the big machine dude, something like that, except I'm going to make it 6 scale, so it's going to look like it's got like a 5'8" guy in it. I've got my friend Scotty who's like 5'6", 5'7", and I'm going to take measurements off of him, and I'm going to base it around his size. I'm going to build up complete skeleton on the inside, and, you know, not like human skeleton, but like a frame, and it's just going to look good, and then build up the power armor around it. And so we're looking at something that's probably going to be about, I don't know, I want to say 16, 18 inches tall. I don't know, I'm going to have to get into a scale model converter again in order to tell you for sure. But you know, I'm gonna build one of those. That's probably gonna take me a year or two to do, which I'm fine with. There's a couple model kits I want to get because I want to get into that style of model kit. One of them being figure model kits. These are like 1/6 and quarter scale people that you assemble. They're usually resin kits. You assemble them and then you paint them. There's a anime style waitress I'm gonna get. There's I want to get this model kit of Guts from Berserk because a friend of mine loves Berserk. And then there's a couple I want to do for my sister, and they're NSFW. But they're really detailed kits, and they're gorgeous, and I want to do them for my sister because, well, it's the style of artwork she likes and the style of stuff she likes. I'm gonna be doing my I'm getting what's her name? Let me look it up real quick. But it's one of the Infinity bootleg models, and so I'm gonna. There's Penthelsia, Penthesilea. She's based off of the Amazon Queen from the Iliad. But it's a special edition one where she's riding one of the Coom choppers instead of the traditional bike she's on, which is a sport bike. So I'm going to do that one up, and I'm going to do it up. I'm going to paint it up with rainbow hair color, and I'm going to do a big pink and black bike. All this for my sister, doing a custom made kit. And then there's like I want to get another aircraft. I haven't built an aircraft model kit since I was like 13, and I really miss the detail you can put into it. And I want to try and find an XB70. I know they make them because one of the local guys has one on display at the local model shop that I like. I'm going to be doing some terrain, mostly getting a hold of I'm going to try and get a hold of some Micro Art Studio stuff because I love their terrain and I want to paint it up. I'm just going to learn a bunch of new techniques is all it is. These kits are going to help me with that. And you know, like this little lady here, you can't get her except with a book. And so I'm painting her up, and my brother wants to display her, and he's going to buy me something in trade for her. Because I actually bought the book and her specifically with my own money. But yeah, there's just going to be a lot of stuff that I'm going to work on over the summer. My scratch building, as I said, I want to do that powered armor, steampunk samurai armor. I want to do a steampunk tank just for shits and giggles. Something that, you know, you would have expected to see if World War II happened in 1901 instead of the 30s and 40s. It's going to actually look a lot like the early English tanks from World War I. Did I say World War I earlier when I said 30s, 40s? That's World War II. But, you know, my brain is not working on all cylinders right now. It's been a long day. I'm going to be building two 1/144 scale Gundams from pretty much scrap. They are going to be very heavily modified. What little pieces that they're going to have left as recognizable, there's still going to be heavily modified. One, I'm going to build a complete set of legs from the waist down, just because, you know, there's no way in hell I'm going to get legs like that off of any kit. Another, I got to try and figure out how to hide extra arms on him, and they're both really big, bulky kits. And then I'm building my brother's personal Gundam because he designed one with me, and I'll be scratch building a sword for that. I'll be scratch building weapons. Basically, all I'm doing is just, you know, I want to see if I can do it, and I want to learn how to do it. And the best way to do that is to just do stuff. I'm going to get, I think I'm going to get a couple more car kits. I've got two that are left from my dad's stuff. One's a Model T double kit, and I've got a diorama I want to build out of one of the cars from that. The other's Dodge Viper, and I'm going to paint it up in the style that my dad would have enjoyed. It's not going to be exactly the colors that he originally wanted, but I think he would have liked it in the end. Yeah, I'm just going to be doing a lot of stuff, and then hopefully at the end of the summer we're going to move into somewhere smaller and cheaper. And yeah. But once I get settled into school, I'll be taking on more commissions, and you guys will see some of that. But right now you're going to be seeing some of my personal projects. You're going to be learning with me if you pay attention, and if I'm any good at showing you what not to do. Because I know I'm going to make a lot of mistakes on camera. I do not edit. I'm too lazy to learn new editing software. I'm too lazy to even try to learn editing software or even look it up. And if I edited it, I know exactly what I would have done. Is I would probably try and make myself seem more like I don't mess up, and that's not fair, because I screw up a lot. I screw up a whole lot, but that's how we learn how to do stuff, and so that's what that's going to be. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Any comments, will be welcome. Well, almost any comments. If you just decide to be a trollish dick, I'm just going to delete your comment, because nobody needs to see that crap. But, some of these guys need to get primed right now. The rest need the cure. And I got to get to work on other projects today. So, you guys have a good day. Try not to take yourself too serious. And if you find that this was helpful, well, actually I didn't do anything today, so if you like my style, let me know. Any suggestions on projects or stuff, let me know. As I said in the comments, I do go back and read the comments. Haven't had many of those yet. We're working on that. But yeah, this is Sparky. Signing off.